Hey man, welcome back. Welcome back to the Super Divorce YouTube channel, station, whatever you want to call it. Oh boy, getting this setup going again. Boy, oh boy. Welcome to tonight's installment of Sega Mania. Nicholas Vlar's here, aka Super Divorce. Welcome. It was quite an ordeal the past few days. Actually, the past week or so. Had a lot of computer issues going on. I don't like that in there. Get out of here. Get out of the frame. You bum. Okay. If you'll just bear with me just 1 second, I'm just trying to make sure that everything here is perfectly kosher. And so, excuse my horse shit for a second. Sega Mania. That's what we're doing here. Sega Mania, in case you didn't know, in case you've never been here before, it's a live streaming, internet-based, video game-centric program in which we are working our way through the life and times, the pages and stages of the late great Sega Mania magazine. That's what I've got right here. Sega Mania magazine was a fantastic, fan-run, fan-funded, fan-loved, fan-adored, yet highly professional video game magazine that ran from 2021 through 2022. Short lifespan, but it was incredible. And so when it went away, I said, no, that's not how it ends. It doesn't end there, the story of Sega Mania. I said, why don't I continue celebrating Sega Mania magazine the way that Sega Mania magazine, all the people there, they were maniacs for Sega. I was like, well, then I'm a maniac for Sega Mania. So I'm a Sega Mania maniac. And thus, Sega Mania was born. And you know what? I should stop saying the late great. It's not late great anymore. Sega Mania magazine, as of last week, I believe, they announced they're going to be coming back. They have already put the Sega Mania magazine online archive back up for all of you to go and peruse. You can download all 7 issues of the magazine right to your hard drive. You used to be able to look through the PDF pages of Sega Mania right there on the internet. You can't do that anymore. You have to actually download them. But this way, they're on your computer forever. So God forbid anything happens and Sega Mania goes away again, you'll always have those issues in digital form right there on your hard drive. So if you go in the description below this video, you'll find a link to the new Sega Mania magazine online archive right there for you. Okay? So give that a shot, please. Why don't you? What's up, Ghoulie? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, Ghoulie. Is anyone else here yet? I don't see anyone else. That's okay. We're going to get things started. We're playing a game called Klax tonight. Before we play Klax, as per usual, we will indulge ourselves in a few pineapple tidbits. I'm gonna tell you guys a few fun facts about Klax. Klax fun facts that I've got prepared for you, and then we will read the Sega Mania magazine review of Klax. We'll find out who our reviewer is in a big reveal, and then we will play the damn game for at least 1/2 of 1 hour. That's what we do right here on Sega Mania. So, please allow me to set the mood with a little pineapple footage for you, as I fill you guys in on some of the deets concerning the creation, the backstory of Klax. What do I know about Klax? What can I tell you about Klax? We're gonna find out some other details about Klax as we read the review right here in this magazine. But first, Klax was developed and released by Atari in Western arcades. However, it was distributed by Namco. They handled the Japanese release. I've got an itchy face right now. I don't like it. I keep having to scratch, like right here. It's like a tickling itch. It feels like dust sprinkling. I don't like it. Klax, designed by David Akers and Mark Steven Price. Mark Steven Price, he was the executive producer of some big-time games that you might have heard of. Games like Primal Rage. You ever play that one? Primal Rage came out, during, I don't know exactly which year. I want to say 94, 95. But they took advantage of the big sort of fighting game craze. The violent fighting game craze that was kind of kicked off by Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Though Mortal Kombat kind of got more crap, more mud thrown at it by concerned parents and watch groups and so on and so forth. But Primal Rage was a violent video game, a violent fighting game, but you played as monsters. Kind of dino type monsters and such. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I actually came home from school one day. I might have told this story before. I'll probably tell it again. But I remember rushing home from school one day, running into the kitchen as I always did to grab myself an after-school snack. And when I opened the cabinet, I saw Primal Rage right there. My mom had gone out and purchased Primal Rage for me because I'd been talking about it. She got me the game. It was right there. She knew I always came home. I had my after-school snack, and there was Primal Rage staring me right in the face. That was a good time. What a good way to receive a gift. She did that with another thing too. That was like sort of the place where she would leave something really cool. Happened on several occasions. Just random gifts right there in the cabinet. Because, well, you want to make sure I see something. You know I go to the cabinet every day after school. Get myself a Hostess, a Little Debbie, a Nutty Buddy, something like that. Well, you put a gift right there, I'm going to see it. And I did, every time. Anyhow, Primal Rage. Executive producer Mark Steven Price of that one. Also, Mark Steven Price was exec producer on San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing, the arcade versions of not only that one, San Francisco Rush The Rock Alcatraz Edition, and San Francisco Rush 2049, which I just talked about recently on a stream, citing how fun the demo was. I never played the actual full game, but I had a demo of San Francisco Rush 2049 on the Dreamcast, and it was awesome. And I don't know why I never ended up with that game. I would still like to procure it. It's one of those things that will cross my mind. I mean, I could probably go and find it somewhere on the internet tonight and have it here by next week. Why haven't I done it yet? I don't know. But at some point, I would like to. Mark Steven Price. His work didn't stop there. He worked on Area 51 Site 4 at the arcade. You might have played that one at some point in time in your life. Gauntlet Legends and Gauntlet Dark Legacy, which I used to play at the local Kings Island theme park. They had it in the arcade, and I almost beat it one time. But I didn't quite get there. I had to leave. When you're a young kid, you can only get so far. When it's time to go, it's time to go. I don't know. I doubt it's still there. I haven't checked. I haven't been into their arcade in some time. They've got several arcades throughout the park, and I I haven't gone into that one in a while. I'd have to go in and search for it. I doubt it's there anymore. I highly doubt it. They've replaced a lot of the cool old school arcade games with just redemption games. You know, where you win tickets. There's a time and place for that, but you see this now with so many arcades. Arcades where they get rid of all the actual arcade games and they replace them with like carnival type ticket games. It's fine if you want to have a few of those. The mix used to be reversed. You used to have a few ticket games here and there. Win your tickets, go to the redemption center and cash in for your little army men and bouncy balls and shit. Now, so many arcades are just redemption games, ticket games. It's garbage. That's crap. I don't like it. Let me look at the chat real quick. Oh, what's up? Get Real's in here. How's it going, Get Real? I saw you had commented on, what was my post about my technical difficulties, why I couldn't stream last night, because I was having trouble with, I'm blaming this. This is my old audio interface. This is what I've been using for years, for several years now. And bye-bye. Thank you for your service, but bye-bye. Bye-bye, Focusrite. The Scarlet is no longer hooked up here. We have moved on to greener pastures. I'm now running that Volt 476. And so far it seems to be working. I haven't noticed anything yet. I haven't had any issues, but if you do, let me know. Because if there's more troubleshooting to do, then I will have to take care of it. Get Real's good. Well, good. I like to hear that. Continuing on with our pineapple tidbits here. David Akers, the other co-creator of this game, not Mark Steven Price, who we were just running through his pantheon of games that he executive produced. David Akers. Akers created Klax. He programmed it using Amiga Basic language. The programming language. Amiga Basic. You wouldn't think that someone would create a big-time game like Klax using Amiga Basic, which he then translated line by line to C language, which is much more, I guess, that'd be much more commonplace at that point. But Klax, inspired by games like Tetris and Tic-Tac-Toe. If you're taking a look at Klax and we're playing it, you're like, I wonder what kind of games inspired the creation of Klax. Well, there you go. Tetris and Tic-Tac-Toe. Games like that. The name Klax, for those of you curious, what's a Klax? Where did they come up with the name Klax? Klax comes from the sound that the tiles in this game make as they move across the screen. Now, I don't know how much sense that makes because I've never played Klax before. I'll have to pay attention. When the tiles start moving, I'm gonna try and remember to assess whether or not I think it sounds like Klax. If it doesn't sound like Klax, I'm going to be disappointed. This was Klax, the final European exclusive game to be released for the Atari 2600, believe it or not, in 1990. Now, it wouldn't surprise people now because Atari has gotten back into the gaming mix and they're actually re-releasing old games on new cartridges with like special edition packaging and such. So you can't say it was the last Atari game released ever, but it was the last European exclusive released in what you might think of as like the first run for Atari before they left the Atari 2600 behind and moved on to the Lynx and the Jaguar. This was the first game to be released on the NES, the Mega Drive, and the TurboGrafx 16. an interesting medley of consoles. I actually don't know how many games in general were released for the NES, the Mega Drive, and the TurboGrafx 16. It seems to me like it wouldn't be very many, but this was the first, according to my research. Klax was included in a book titled 1001 Games You Must Play Before You Die, edited by Tony Mott of Edge Magazine, with a preface by game creator extraordinaire Peter Molyneux, known for Black and White and the Fable series, not the new one coming out that looks abysmal. Oh boy, woof. People say that, woof, like you're a dog barking at something you don't like. Woof, woof. That new Fable. No good. No good. I wouldn't try that one if I were you. So there you go, guys. Those are your pineapple tidbits for Klax tonight. Hopefully you feel informed and learned after that nice heaping helping of pineapple tidbits. I hope you enjoyed the tidbits and the pineapple footage this evening. I know I did. Ghoulies' Wi-Fi just disconnected him. That's what he gets for using a tablet from 2015, he says. Doesn't seem like that should be all that long ago, does it? 2015? When I hear 2015, like my mind just thinks, oh, that was like a couple years ago. No, it wasn't. That was like 8 years ago. That was the better part of 10 years ago. That's crazy. You think you're using tech from 2015? That's high tech. That's new. I've only had this since 2015. Oh, you mean you almost had it a decade? Huh? That'll put a damper in your evening. Alright, so we're done with pineapple tidbits, and now it's time to read the Sega Mania magazine review of Klax. So if you will please check out your television set there, I have conveniently placed for you a graphic of the Sega Mania magazine review of Klax. See? Right there? Well, you've got a version of that right on the television set where you can follow along. And if that's not good enough for you, then please take this time to head on over to the Sega Mania magazine online archive. I talked about it earlier in the stream. The link is still there. I didn't take it away. You can follow that link. You can click on the digital edition of issue 3. That's what we're checking out tonight. That's where you'll find this review. And you can click on the link there. You place it in your shopping cart. Don't get scared. Don't be frightened. You don't have to pay money for it. This is just the process. You place it in your shopping cart, and then you check out. And then your download comes through. And that's it. It's simple. The shopping cart is merely a formality, because you can purchase, I think they have physical copies of issue number 7 that you can actually buy still. They've got some of those left. All the other ones are sold out. You can't buy the others, but you can buy issue 7 in physical format, or you can download any of the other 6 issues for free. You can download issue 7 for free too, but you can also buy that one physical copy. But don't be scared that it says add to cart. You're not going to have to pay money for the digital download. All right. So, if you download that copy, then you'll be able to flip through at your leisure, zoom in and zoom out, and flip forwards and backwards all throughout. That's up to you, though. If you don't want to have to do that, you can just pay attention to your television set. I've placed that up there for you. And now, you know what? I kind of like physical home buttons. I don't think that that's a bad thing. When I hear that, Ghoulie was just saying his device he's using still has a physical home button. I kind of like the physical home button. I miss that. I kind of miss that. My old iPhone had that. The little circle you would press, you know? I don't know. I mean, I guess it works without it, but it's, I don't know. It doesn't feel dated to me. It seems like one of those things they took away and they didn't have to. I guess they can say, oh, you get a bigger screen, you get, you know, your screen's not taken up by the little circle, you know, it's better. I guess. Maybe it's cheaper to make, maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. I feel the same way about not having an auxiliary input or output, you know, where you can hook up the auxiliary cable coming out of your phone and plug it into your car for cars that don't have Bluetooth, but they had the auxiliary input. Because check it out. My iPhone, they upgraded the Bluetooth on it, and it's no longer compatible with my 2015 Honda vehicle. Isn't that weird? Doesn't that suck? So it's not good enough that my car has Bluetooth. It doesn't have the newest version of Bluetooth, so you just can't use it with new phones. And you also can't just jack in using an auxiliary cable because they don't put the output on the damn phone anymore. Also, you can't plug headphones into the new phones. A lot of them. They took that away. Anyhow. Whatever. Tonight's review of Klax comes to us by way of Sega Mania reviewer, journalist, celebrity, Steve Andrews. There he is, scrolling across your screen in case you wonder what old Stevie looks like. Well, there you go. You can watch Steve scroll on by as I read you his review. Steve says about Klax. In the 1980s, if you were caught whistling a Russian folk song on the bus, you would have been arrested, interrogated, and burned alive inside a big wicker missile silo as a sacrifice to the gods of capitalism. At that time, Alan Sugar, Scrooge McDuck, and the head of Nestle. But this is the 1990s. The Iron Curtain has fallen. Tetris has invaded the West, and the Game Boy's 8-bit rendition of Korobeniki can be heard ringing out at every bus stop, every little chef, or abandoned missile silo across our green and pleasant land. The worst thing that's likely to happen to you now is that you get that janky electronic music stuck in your head, driving you slowly and steadily towards a mental breakdown that will alienate your spouse and children, culminating in a lonely death. Tetris was such a cultural phenomenon. It spawned its own syndrome, the Tetris effect. A condition where prolonged play can pattern both the player's dreams and their conscious thoughts. Some of us never fully recover. To this day, organizing time in my diary feels like a game. If by some miracle I get everything to line up, a whole bloody week disappears. The Tetris effect. Sorry, I didn't mean to disappoint you, Ghoulie. I was just trying to make Stephen Andrews feel good too. The Tetris effect. I've had this happen before. Where you're playing a game for so long, you stop abruptly and you close your eyes and you can still see the game. Like, in your mind's eye. It's like burned into your retinas or something. The game is still like unfolding. Your brain is creating the game like in the theater of your thoughts. And you can see it very vividly. Maybe this has not happened to you. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but it's happened. And I think that's kind of what he's talking about. With the Tetris effect. Back to the review. Naturally, Atari and Sega didn't think that Nintendo should hold a monopoly on psychological afflictions, so both took to the lab to create their own brain parasites. Klax debuted in arcades in 1990, the same year as Columns. We played Columns on here before. Very early in the lifetime of Sega Mania did we play Columns. I don't remember which episode that was. But if you'd like to find out more about Columns, you can go and watch the Columns episode. Okay, back to the review. Both games promoted a sense of grandeur in hope to convince us that they will be the puzzle game to take Tetris's crown. I was going to say take Tetris down, but that's not what he wrote. Take Tetris's crown. Columns with its precious jewels played by the Greek gods themselves. Klax with its nondescript blocks falling against a background of, wait, is that a casino car park? Oh, Atari, you take me to all the nicest places. Car park, of course, is what they call parking lots. Across the pond there. This is a UK-based magazine. That's where these guys are from. So as we read the reviews, you might notice some slang and some terminology that confuses you if you're from the United States like I am. Maybe you didn't know what a car park was. What is it? Is it a park where you take your car and they've got jungle sets and big slides you can drive up and then go down real fast and swings for your car? No, that's not what a car park is. A car park is just a parking lot. Back to the review. At their core, the games are essentially the same. A never-ending cascade of blocks descend upon your playing area, and you must guide them down and align them in a manner which makes them disappear. When your playing area is filled with blocks, it's game over. Just like Catholic school, he says. For nostalgia junkies, what sets these games apart from each other is as much the feelings they evoke as it is the nuance of their mechanics. I would find it hard to believe that the music of Tetris on the Game Boy does not evoke some level of emotional response to anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it does. It's ingrained. Feelings of warmth and mirth reminds me of driving down country roads in the back of my grandfather's pickup truck. Used to be able to sleep in the back of the pickup truck. Quite unsafely, but we did things like that back in the day. You know, riding with my grandparents to my great-grandparents' house about an hour and a half away. I would get my Game Boy, I would hop in the back of his truck. It was a covered truck, you know, it had the cab in the back. But I would take a pillow and blanket back there, and he had this kind of like green AstroTurf that lined the interior, you know, like a carpeting almost. And I would lay back there with my Game Boy, and I would just play my Game Boy, and then when I got tired, I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up, and we were safely at Great-Grandma and Grandpa's, my Mama and Papa's house. Can't do that anymore. You will be arrested and thrown in prison for life. Back to the review. Veteran Sega composer Tokuhiko Uwabo's hypnotic score for Columns takes me right back to Christmas '92, says Stephen Andrews, and I still love it to this day. It makes unique use of the Mega Drive's Yamaha sound chip, evoking a simultaneously soothing, hypnotic, and haunting pomp. Klax announces itself with gusto from the title screen. It's the 90s, and there's time for Klax. We are told, as though the future will never be the same again. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe Klax changed everything. But as soon as we've let him into the door, we discover this peacock has forgotten his hard-on pills. Ooh. That's the end of any attempt to draw you in through presentation skills. There is no music, just the repetitive thud of tumbling blocks and a wet squelch as you shit them onto the playing field below. That doesn't sound very Klaxy to me, but I guess we'll find out. Only the occasional sampled crowd reaction pierces the monotony of the seedy car park. It seems Atari wanted to go for the dirty corner of the arcade feel, and they've certainly delivered. I try to rouse enthusiasm for it by imagining it's the end of Rocky V, but then I remember what a letdown that was the first time around. In the dingy corners of your local arcade, I can imagine Klax being a decent coin swallower with a certain kind of Year 7 hard man who liked to pretend that it was a real gambling machine, just because it seemed so void of fun. By the time it came to the Mega Drive in 1992, it didn't really find its market. For some reason, that didn't seem to be the type of environment people wanted to recreate at home. Not to worry, Atari came armed with options. Lots of options. Don't like the car park? Move to the giant disembodied hand, holding the playing area up to your face like a massive crack pipe. Or, if that doesn't take your fancy, outer space. Because that's obviously the next logical step. Head to the options screen, you can turn music on. Head back to the options screen shortly thereafter to turn it swiftly back off again. The music here is little more than a singular sound effect played on loop to give gamers that MK Ultra / Polybius vibe they've all been crying out for. Klax briefly invaded my consciousness in the early 90s, and I've had little cause to think of it since. It's fair to say I didn't approach it with a lot of enthusiasm for this review, and nor did it do much to endear itself to me when I started playing. The difficulty ramp seemed too steep at first, and the singular mechanic that defined it from its competition seemed somewhat flawed. In Klax, you control a paddle, which moves left and right across the bottom of the conveyor belt to catch the tiles as they fall before depositing them. You can stack up to 5 of these on the paddle at a time, releasing them in the reverse order you receive them. Failure to collect a falling tile can cause you to lose a life. Whilst this introduces a unique gameplay element to the puzzle, giving expert players the chance to create superb combos, the paddle doesn't always seem as responsive as it should. And I'm going to break in here and say that's probably because you're using a D-pad. And if you've ever played any game that is sort of traditionally and originally paddle operated, like Pong, for example, or Breakout, games like that are always a lot harder using a D-pad or a joystick versus a nice twisty knob. You get a lot more smoothness of movement when you're using a paddle controller. If you play those old Atari games, going from paddle to controller is just it's like makes it unplayable. So I understand. Back to the review here. A successful puzzle game owes much of its longevity to the reactiveness of its controls. When you fail, you need to feel that it was your slow reflexes or poor decision making. In Klax, half the time, you'll blame the collision detection. The game engine does not feel as tight as it needs to be for a high-scoring chasing puzzle game. This is a shame because when you get past the uninspiring presentation, there's actually a really good game trying to be noticed. Klax offers you a range of challenges as you advance that makes you feel more as though you are progressing and learning different ways to play than many other puzzlers of the time. Which is what lets it down so much when you feel you've had a cheap death. You could be cruising, guiding those blocks down in almost Zen-like fashion, but one wrong move can make your game plan come apart quicker than a leper in a wind tunnel. For its missteps, there's something about Klax that pulls you back in with that just one more go factor. Thankfully, the game works with a continue system, so if your controller survives your almost guaranteed tantrums, you have 10 seconds to decide if you want to continue your punishment from where you left off. Those who do will have Klax slowly grow on them, like a fungal infection. In the 2 years it took to port Klax to the Mega Drive, Columns joined the Super Hang-On and World Cup Italia 90 on the first Mega Games 3-in-1 cartridge, which was regularly bundled with the console from Christmas '92 onwards. With so many copies still out there, you can pick one up for less than a $5. Klax will set you back around £15 or euros today. So If you only have room for one puzzle game in your collection, the former would be your wisest choice. So says Steve Andrews in quite a lengthy review there, I feel like, compared to many others that we've gone through in Sega Mania. So, take a look over here at the damn chat. See what's going on here. Ghoulie says, will Klax triumph over Super Thunderblade as the worst Sega Mania game? Steve is making it sound like it might. Well, you know, it might. But he said there's a good game trying to be noticed. Who knows? You know? Maybe it just sounded bad. Maybe in practice, it'll actually be better than he made it sound. Get Real says, I remember you used to have around 20 to 50 watching your streams. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I try to do a good job here. You know? Maybe everyone's busy. Or maybe everyone's had enough. They said, you know what, that's enough of that Super Divorce guy. And they found something else to watch. That could happen. That could be. Ghoulie says, the soccer game. That World Cup one was an early Sega Mania, and I remember that one sucked as well. Yeah, World Cup Italia. I think any soccer game that we play for the entirety of this series is probably going to be shit. And it's probably, in some cases, will probably be my fault, because I don't know what I'm doing. Because I never played soccer. And never played FIFA. I mean, I've played FIFA, like, here and there over the years, just maybe at a friend's house, or seeing it at a display, you know, at a kiosk at the store somewhere. But I've never owned a FIFA. Just never got into soccer too much. I don't dislike it. It's just one of those things I've never jumped into. Alright, guys. Well, it's time to see what this is all about. So, let me go ahead and... It is the 90s, and there is time for Klax. He was right. That's how the game starts. It's the 90s, and there's time for Klax. You got time for it now. You didn't have time for it in the 80s. You didn't have time for it in the 70s. But in the 90s, you have time for Klax. Do we still have time for Klax? Because not the 90s anymore. I'm making time for it. Do most people have time for Klax now? I don't know. Options. Completely silent right now, by the way. No sounds as you move through the menu. No teet, 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 teet. Nothing. No, not like a clank, 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 clank. Nope. Play sound. Press B to play sound. Is that the Klax? Well, I think these are just sounds from the game. Oh no, it's not saying play sound no, yes, it's play sound number 0. There's number 0. Number 1, and so on. You can do a sound test. Where's the music? Here, let's turn the music on. It still doesn't. It doesn't put the music on right away. I guess it's just for when the game starts. All right. There's time for Klax. It's the 90s. It is the 90s, and there is time for Klax. Let's try. All right. Please select a wave. Wave number 1. Wave number 6 or wave number 11. 3 drops per game, no bonus. I guess we'll start with 1 since I've never done this before. What's up, Jorfus? How's it going tonight? Good to see ya. Jorfus has stopped in, which means that in due course it'll be time for Mr. Jorfus's joke of the night. I hope he has a Klax-related joke lined up for us. Thank you. You're welcome. How to play. Get 3 in a row. Vertically, 50 points. Horizontally, 1,000 points. Diagonally, 5,000 points. Klax wave 1. You must get 3 Klaxes. Okay. Hint, a Klax is 3 tiles of the same color in a row. That's what a Klax is. Not only is it the sound that they make as they're klaxing across the screen, it's also 3 tiles of the same color in a row. All right, gotcha. Sounds good. Let's give it a shot, please. Let's try. See if... I don't know what that did. Whoop. All the buttons, I guess, just throw the Klax down. That's all they do. It's not like A does something different than B or C. They all just toss your tile. There's a Klax. That's one Klax. Oh, hold on a second. Well, I'll just... Oh! Whoops! I wasn't paying attention. I think I'd like to try for a diagonal Klax here. So I'm going to put that right there. And then... No! Damn it! I got too jumpy. Son of a bitch. Let me toss that right there. I'll toss that down there. And, well, I can do this. There, that's... Oh, I just had to get 3. Just going for three Klaxes. Klax Wave 2, you must get 5 Klaxes this time. Hint, the paddle can hold up to 5 tiles. That's a hint. Okay. Alright. Gotta get 5 Klaxes this time. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so let me toss that down there. Oh, shit! Well, and here's what we'll do. We'll toss these down. Look at that! A diagonal Klax. Whoa, shit. I see. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I had more time. I'm gonna have to get used to that. Okay, let me try again. Let me try. Alright, Jorp's joke of the night. He said, did you know this game is the king of Tetris? It's a Klax Royale. Like a battle royale, but with Klax. Jess said a bird pooped in her hair today. You know, a lot of people say birds aren't real, that they're electronic government listening devices and spy devices. A lot of people say that. A Clash Royale. I don't know what that is. It's a card game. I don't know Clash Royale. Never heard of that. I'm out of the loop on Clash Royale. All right, time to get 5 Klaxes. By the way, I didn't look and see what time I started this because I said, as usual, we play the game for at least 30 minutes. I'll say that I started at, what, at like 11:35 maybe? Something like that. I'm going to go with that. Okay. Let me get my Klaxes going here. Okay, I'll toss that. We're going to go for some more diagonal Klaxes this time. Oops. I fudged it. Darn it. Well, I'll just go ahead and do that. There. I saved the day. Okay. Goody. Now that's what I needed to do. Okay. Just need an orangey one to drop down here. Go ahead and give me an orangey one. Well, I shouldn't have done that. I screwed it up. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, for fuck's sake. Damn it, I've lost my shit here. I'm just gonna lose on purpose. Ghoulie is unsubscribing because I don't know Clash Royale. I'm sorry. I messed up. I didn't even... I missed the continue. I was reading the chat and I missed the continue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll have to start Klax all over again now. But Ghoulie said that... He said they made it official. We've been following Ghoulie's love life here for months and months. There's a lady that he's had feelings for many moons, and I guess... this lady and one of Ghoulie's friends have become an official item, officially removing Ghoulie from the contenders field for her love. Sorry to hear that, Ghoulie. But just know this, and I don't wish ill upon these people. I don't wish for their relationship to fail, but you are very early in your life, which means a lot of relationships are going to come and go quickly. So chances are this lady and your friend are not going to end up getting married. They might, but statistically, probably not. If you hang in there, who knows? All right, let's try Klax again. Let me try to get just 3 Klaxes this time. Okay, all right, okay. Gonna go for as many diagonals as I can, because that's going to get us the most points. That's what you want to do. You want as many diagonals as you can muster. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just gonna toss that right there. Put that down. And now look, I've set myself up for another diagonal with the blues. Oh, see, that was one of the ones where he was talking about. No, damn it. Not how I wanted to do that, but whatever. Okay. Well, you know, you don't have to be overly joyous about finding out that kind of news. You can be okay with it. I would say be okay with it. Wish them well and mean it. You know, I wish you well, but you don't have to. You don't have to throw a party for them or anything. You're allowed to, like, all right. You can be cool. You know. Stay strong, like Jorfa said. Keep it strong. All right. We need to get a nice diagonal going here. I'm going to toss that right there. We're going to toss this right here. And let's see. What are we going for? I don't even know what I'm going for right now. Ah, shit. See, they really, it seems like they speed up right there at the end. Deceptively quick. Throw that down there. Okay. There we go. And now we'll take this blue one that's... Are they klaxing, by the way? Does it sound like a Klax sound to you? I'm not so sure. Come on, give me a blue. Give me a blue. Come on, man. Make with the blue. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Nice. Alright. And I guess I'll just go ahead and throw that down there. That's fine. And we will get an orange. And have ourselves another... Maybe. If I ever get an orange. Well, up. There we go. Okay. There, look at that. I feel like I'm starting to kind of get into it now. Now it's starting to make sense. My brain's kind of adjusting to it. I haven't played a puzzle game quite like this before. I mean, kind of like it, because obviously they mentioned Tetris, they mentioned tic-tac-toe, columns. But it is somewhat unique in the realm of puzzlers. What are you checking out over on Discord? Get real? You watching funny Discord shits? Diagonal wave 3. You must get 3 diagonals. A 4 in a row Klax counts as 2 Klaxes. 4 in a row Klax counts as 2 Klaxes. Okay. All right. So we have to get diagonals this time. Lucky for us, we've been doing diagonals. No, you shit! Damn it! There we go. Okay. I don't know. They don't sound very Klaxy to me. It sounds like something else. Like it's a different noise. Not what I would refer to as... Oh, I had too many stacked up. Well, my bad. Well, no. Shit. Shit the bed. Your sanity's gone. Well, that doesn't sound very good. I'll give you the same advice that Ferris Bueller's dad gave him in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Take a hot shower and wrap a hot towel around your head. Additionally, you could try a nice piping hot bowl of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. That might help you feel better. That might help you regain your sanity. Some nice hot soup. Does wonders to help you get your sanity back. Just dropping these down here. Dropping the kids off at the pool, as they say. Klaxing on down, klaxing around. There we go. Ah, okay, there's one. There's one diagonal. Set ourselves up for another diagonal just real quick here. Coming up soon. If we get another one of them colors right there. Okay, we just need we can do an orange, or we could do one of those sort of maroony mauve-ish. There it is. That's what I needed. Toss that down right there. Right there. And how about this? Look at that. Made that nice and simple because I had that stack going. I had the nice stairway stack, and then I could just dip, dip, dip. I dip, dip, dip. I dip, dip, dip. And that's all you got to do. You set yourself up for a good time. Bonus points. Wave number 4. You must get 10,000 points. Hint, a 5 in a row Klax counts as 3 Klaxes. Okay. All right. Let's just get to 10,000. Should be able to do that. He was right about the music. This barely counts as music. I hope they didn't pay someone very much money for this. You know. That would be kind of a rip-off. This sounds like if they hired someone, it was like the guy, nope, hold on. Nope, that's not quite what I wanted to do. There, okay. Not too far to go here. And let me, Klax. Come on, give me an orange. Oh shit. See? That guy snuck up on me. And they're withholding the oranges right now. And I don't appreciate that all that much. But there we go. There's another one. That gets us to 10,000. Not too bad. Ha! Ghoulie, you know, I referenced that song myself back in high school one time when I was doing my best to impress a young lady, and she ended up getting with a different guy. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like my heart was ripped out of my chest, but I remember referencing that song when I was talking to a friend of mine. I remember making the same joke. Time is a flat circle, as they say. All right. Tile wave number 5. You must survive 40 tiles. Hint, drop meter is cleared at warp screen. Tile number 5. You must survive 40 tiles. All right, so we got 40 tiles to go. That's all. We don't have to worry about high scores or any of that shit. We just have to survive a certain number of tiles. I'd like to toss down an orange one right here. That'd be interesting. Look at that. Plus 10 thou. Does the body good, huh? Toss that right there. I'll go ahead and toss that right there. Why not? I'm not trying to impress anyone here. Check this out. Here's what we're going to do. Here's my stratagem. Toss that right. Oh, shit. See, now that was one of those ones where... That was one of those ones where I didn't feel like it was my fault. Great minds do think alike. That's for shout. That's for damn shout. Put that over there. Set ourselves up here. fun and fancy free. I guess we'll just toss that right there, and we'll get ourselves a nice 4-dropper right here. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, indeed. And yeah, I'm just not really worried about getting diagonals or anything this time, or any sort of fancy tricks. I just want to clear these things out quick as I can. I think that would be a good idea. To just clear them on out. Just gotta survive. Oh shit! I got cocky. Get over there. Got those. Oh, that was another one. Ah. Ag. Oh, you know what? I should have put that to the left. I shouldn't have done it that way. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. Okay. Shit. Alright. Again. Again. There we go. Look at that. 39 tiles to go. Put that right there. I can still maybe try my master plan. Yeah. Let me stack up another blue right there. That'll be good. And drop that mauve. Is that mauve-y? I think that's a little mauve-y. I think everything's mauve. And this guy. We're gonna hold on to that for a sec. We'll toss that right there. And if you can give me a blue, please, at some point. Please, I would like to take a blue off your hands. Are they ever going to give me a blue again? I wonder. There. Here we go. Toss. 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 There we go. And look at that. Now. Up. Oh. There's a diagonal. There's another diagonal. Oh no. No shit. They start. Well, that's about 30 minutes of Klax. I made the Klax Hall of Fame. Nope. I can't even. Well, whatever. Whatever. Okay. There's Klax, guys. Back to the review. I don't know. I think that game would have greatly benefited from some music that pulled you in. Can you imagine playing Tetris with no sound? Now that I think about some of what Stephen Andrews mentioned here with the iconic soundtrack for Tetris. So much of everyone's memories of Tetris is associated with the Tetris music. If Tetris only had like a looping dun 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 dun, just this loop over and over and over again, I don't know. Maybe it never reaches the heights that it reached. And maybe Klax could have been a smash hit. Maybe Klax could have been catapulted to heights unknown had the person charged with creating the soundtrack actually given a shit. So, in this rather lengthy review by Stephen Andrews, he spends a lot of time sort of just, reminiscing about the past of puzzle games, the rise of Tetris, the rise of columns. And he really doesn't get it to the meat and potatoes of Klax as a game and giving us any information about it or his thoughts on it until you're almost to the end of the damn review. It only comes in at like the final, I would say like the final third. The first 2/3 of it, it's all, I wouldn't say fluff, because it's well written. It's not like I was bored reading it, but it doesn't talk a whole lot about Klax until you've already been reading for 10 minutes. So he talks about the controls, mentions that yes, sometimes it feels like you shouldn't have lost because the controls aren't as tight as you would like them to be, and I agree. You feel like you got there, you should have caught that tile, but you didn't. And it feels like bullshit sometimes. It doesn't always feel like it's your fault. Ultimately it is, because you have to know the ins and outs of the games. You have to know where your paddle needs to be. You can't just assume you were close enough. But you expect a game like this to feel nice and tight, and it feels a little bit off. Just a little bit off. Tetris, everyone knows how crisp that game is. Very crisp. If you lose in Tetris, you know it was your fault. Really, the only time you can blame Tetris is when you really need a certain piece and you're kind of setting it up so that you can make one of those big plays where you can get a Tetris. You're waiting for like the long rod, the French fry or the veggie straw. You're waiting for the long one so you can just bang, just slam it right down into that open spot, that slender open spot. And then you just never get one, and your whole screen stacks up and you die. That can feel like bullshit, but ultimately that's your fault because you gambled. You're like, I'm gonna keep stacking these, I'm gonna wait for that one piece, and then they don't give you that piece. That sucks, but it's on you. Tetris doesn't really make you feel like the controls fucked you up. I can't think of any times that's happened to me. Once you know how to play Tetris, it's like on you to do a good job. So, Stephen Andrews says there's actually a really good game trying to be noticed here. And I think that that's accurate as well. It seems like there's something going on there in Klax. It's unique. It's interesting. It does make you want to keep playing. Yeah. It's not like I couldn't wait to get out of Klax. But for the stream's sake, I think that there are more exciting games that we played on Sega Mania. Unless I got really good and I was going for a high score, I don't know that people would want to watch me play Klax for 5 hours. Just trying to learn the ropes, So, whatever. It's okay. But with some tweaks, with tighter controls, with a grade A top choice soundtrack, Klax could have been a Klaxic. So, for all its missteps, says Stephen Andrews, there's something about Klax that pulls you back in. Yeah. Grows on you like a fungal infection. And he says if you had to play Klax or Columns, you're probably better off trying to play Columns because it's a lot easier to find, it's cheaper if you want a physical copy of it. Do I think Columns is a better game than Klax? I don't know. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. I'd probably have to play them side by side, like one after the other. Like play Klax for 10 or 15 minutes and then go and play Columns. Because I'm not like a huge Columns fanboy. I don't have any Columns like t-shirts. I don't have a Columns ball cap or anything. I don't have any Columns action figures. It's okay. But I don't know if it's better than Klax. Klax might be a better game than Columns. I'd have to go back and check. With our chat reviews here, Jorfus has given Columns a final score of 500 Mr. Jorfuses out of a possible 1,000 Mr. Jorfuses. The music was like just a sound. And good animation and graphics. Had lives and continues, a little bit unfair. Good physics, he says. And Ghoulie said, he was talking to Ghoulie. Ghoulie said he'd give it 396 Ghoulie dudes out of a possible 1,000 Ghoulie dudes. Game was a good idea, poor execution. Kinda. Music, or lack thereof, was pitiful, and that little bit at the end of it, coming to the thing that puts the squares down, was lame. Yeah. So, kind of a middling affair here. Columns? Don't you mean Klax? No, I was saying Klax might be better than Columns. I think Klax might be a better game than Columns. And my score for Klax is going to be... I'm going to give it 600 Super Divorces out of a possible 1,000 Super Divorces. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I said something wrong there. I don't know. If I did, I apologize. But 600, that's my Super Divorce score for Klax. I think it is an above average game. It's unique and it's intriguing. It's puzzling. It takes a minute to figure out, but once you get going, you can see how it would become addictive. Yeah. Above average puzzler, Klax. I'd like to play it more sometime. Not right now, but someday I would like to play it again. Can't say that for every game that I've played on the Sega Mania streams. So, there you go. That's my review of Klax. And that's about all I got for you tonight. Next time, what kind of game do we have waiting in the wings? Next time, we're going to be checking in with another side scroller. A little bit of an action platformer. A cutesy-dootsy action platformer coming up next time. And I hope you'll be back for it. If you haven't done so, please sub to the channel by hitting subscribe. bong the gong for notifications so you know when new videos go live, so you know when I go live with programs like this, like Sega Mania. And comment below, man. You know, questions, concerns, requests, whatever you want, leave it in the comments section. Let me know. The comment section is your oyster, so crack it open. You know, slam it down your throat and wash it down with a nice tall frosty mug of cocktail sauce. Follow me on Twitter at SuperDivorce, on Instagram at SuperDivorceBand. And I play music from time to time. Really getting back into the music-y mood. Yeah? For the first time in a long time, I'm really looking forward to writing some new Super Divorce tunes, some new songs. But the ones that I do have up already, you can check those out on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you stream your horse shit, you can find Super Divorce. So just type in Super Divorce, click on the song of your choosing, take it for a spin, a little test drive, Klax it around a little bit. If you don't like that one, hey, check out another. If you don't like that one, try another one. And again and again and again until you find something you do like, because I believe there's something there for everybody. Give it a shot, please! For all of the people who were hanging out here tonight, lurking in the shadows at the edge of the tree line there at the forest, the digital forest, just watching from afar. If you were doing that, that's fine. I appreciate you being here, live or after the fact, whatever. But just know, the people you see from the tree line over there in the town square, yucking it up, laughing, having fits, having laughing fits, hanging out, talking shit, whatever's going on over there in the town square, you're watching from the tree line. Over there in the town square, people dancing around the bonfire, eating hot dogs. You can come over and join anytime you like. You can join the chatty Cathys in the chat. That's more than open to you whenever you would like. Don't feel intimidated. Don't feel bad. Don't feel stupid. Don't feel like you don't have anything to say. Just join in the fun if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm not pressuring you. I'm not shaming you for lurking at the tree line. I'm not shaming you for being a lurking lurker. If you want to be a lurking lurker, that's fine. But if you're lurking because you're afraid, if you're lurking with trepidation and hesitation in your heart, don't do that. Come on in. It's a nice cozy crowd here at Super Divorce Central. Alright? That's what I want you to know. And to all the chatty Cathys, thank you for hanging out and making things fun and lively and mirth-filled and merry. Yeah, well, as Ghoulie said, some people might be crying over a girl in the chat. Maybe you're good at consoling people, and that can be what you contribute. You might say, well, I'm not on the ball with quick-witted commentary and so on and so forth. What am I gonna add to the equation? Maybe you're good at consoling people, and you could have been consoling Ghoulie tonight because his lady of choice has chosen another suitor for the moment. But because Ghoulie is my pal, and I want what's best for Ghoulie, then I'm going to secretly hope that this relationship, that his lover, not lover, his I don't want to say lover, his love interest. I hope that the relationship she's gotten into doesn't end horribly. I hope it's like one of those deals where they realize, yeah, we're just not that compatible. let's just go our separate ways. I hope it ends like that, and then Ghoulie gets an opportunity to swoop in and sweep this lady off her feet. That's what I hope for. That's what I'm hoping for from here, for my buddy Ghoulie. Again, I don't want a big messy breakup. I'm not putting that out there. I'm not saying that I want anything terrible to happen. I don't want them to be fighting and causing a scene at the local dairy whip. I don't want anything like that. I don't want them to be out and you know, for a milkshake to be dumped on anyone's head. I don't want that to happen. I just hope that they come to the realization that they're not meant for each other and they're going to part ways, and she realizes the whole time she should have been with Ghoulie Dude. That's what I hope happens. Until next time, everyone. Take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.